at some point, after Fashola's governorship in Lagos State, the Christian community told Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the next governor of Lagos must be a Christian. They told him point blank, you remember, they said, look, we will not have another Muslim governor in Lagos after the two.
It's interesting that as cosmopolitan as Lagos is,
yes,
you know, that religion is playing a factor in its own politics. But what I want you to quickly do is list the 5 factors. You talk about 5 factors.
Yes.
Religion,
ethnicity, then the economy. Economy plays a very key role. The NSAS protest. NSAS was very strong. Just 2 years ago, Lagos was the most impacted by NSAS, and that has, you know, that temple has not died naturally, particularly Lekki experience. So that also played a key factor. And of course, the Tinubu, people want Otoge. I mean, is it only Tinubu that owns Lagos? You know, they call him Lagos boy. He's been there controlling affairs of Lagos for the past 24 years. So let's have a change for and of course, somebody supporters really haven't forgiven Tinubu for what happened in 2019. So all of this played out. These 5 critical factors, in my own estimation, played out in what...
There is a dynamics, actually, that I also want us to look at. And I'm actually looking at a deeper taste of what the figures are giving us to chew. Now, if you are looking at these two men standing side by side, Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Bola Tinubu of the APC, 572,000 and 582,000, just about less than 11,000 votes in between both of them. Now, you look at what is surprising for some is how Atiku performed in Lagos. Did you ever expect that if Atiku was going to get any vote, it was going to be in the region of 75,000, not up to 100,000 votes? Don't forget, it's always a state that PDP has always eyed over the last 20 years. PDP has always wanted to win Lagos.
Unfortunately, PDP has always, they have always been Shoroye of Lagos. You know, they've always eyed their seats, they never got it. And PDP had always performed poorly in Lagos, to the best of my knowledge. All attempts, the few times they did well is because of the Igbo factor, and I recall that it was actually an intrigue and fallout.
And when Obanikoro also ran on the platform
within the APC. If you recall, in 2015, the PDP won about 7 seats, including House of Reps position in Lagos, because of the internal bickering in the APC. That's why I say all politics are local. The moment you don't have a cohesive and united house, and which is, in fact, that is the greatest shock I received, was APC winning Kwara. Because of Otoge and Osuwa factor in Kwara, I was hoping that there would be no upset in Kwara, given the fact that people seem disenchanted, particularly the face-off between the loyalists of Minister of Information and Culture as well as those of the city governor. So it could have played out in one way or the other.
Jide, just apologies to cut into your line of thought, but we know now that the counting and collation in River State is ongoing. We allow you
02 50 48 02 50 480,000 250 480,000 250. Number of accredited voters 81264 81264 81,264. The grades for each of the parties. A has 115 votes. 115 votes. 115 votes. AA 23 23 23 votes. AAC 37 37 votes. ADC 195 196, sorry, not 5, 196, 196 votes. ADP 103 103 votes. APGA APC 5562 5562 5,562 5,562. APGA 174 174 votes. 174 votes. APM 136 136 votes. APP 36 36 votes. 8 votes. LP 62451 62451 62,451 votes. NNPP 301 301 votes. NRM 53 53 votes. PDP 7203 7,203 votes. PRP 14 votes. SDP 348 348 votes. YPP 79 79 votes. ZLP 533 533 votes. Total number of valid votes 77442 77442 77,442 77,442. Total rejected votes 3626 3626 3,626 votes. 3,626 votes. Total votes cast. Total votes cast 81068. 81068. 81,068. 81,068. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any cancellation?
There was no cancellation.
Thank you. Any comments from agents of party Starting with good evening, everybody. My name is Barrister Kinsley Chukwu. I represent PDP, the state collation agent for PDP. First, I want to commend the commission because I've been part of the process right from the distribution. I witnessed distribution, even the entire collation today. Even when the gentleman from Labour Party was raising concerns on some issues in AG, it was very peaceful. So I want to commend ourselves. Now, I have a little concern with Port Harcourt City. First, when she came in here, there was an uproar. We should not just, for me, I want to plead with you that we should not just sweep it under the carpet. We need to know what transpired, that there was that uproar. In every election, there must be a winner, there must be a loser. But if you are winning, you should win very well. You're also losing, you also lose in good faith. Secondly, there are allegations from my party that she was mutilating what results from certain words, Ward 5, Ward 11 to 18, and Ward 10. We need to have a physical inspection of those results that she collated, which they are alleging that she mutilated. That is my concern, sir. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you for your very candid submission. First, you raised the issue of uproar. We're here for the purpose of collation for the presidential election. You have not informed us about an issue. We are not concerned about uproar. As long as this hall is peaceful, you can attest that the hall is peaceful. And that's why we're seated this way. If there are uproars, maybe it's not related to this election. That is not part of what I can explain. On the issues of mutilation of results, if you have evidence of mutilation, because the result sheets are public documents, and once you so assert that there is mutilation, you will have the right to inspect it. And those are things that can be done. So what we require you to do is to make documentation, and obviously it will be treated. But on the whole, I want to thank you for your very candid submission. Thank you. Any other comment? Labour Party, you want to speak again?
Yes, sir, I must always speak. My name is Deye Pepo. I'm the state collation agent for Labour Party. Well, the result as announced is okay, but the only thing is we expected from what we have that's supposed to have more votes. And what the APC had there, I'm not sure that they got up to that, but we are accepting it the way it is. And I want to commend the electoral officer. She's a sincere person. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so all right, another agent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Omangma. I'm the agent representing Young Progressive Party. Sir, from the beginning of this process, we've never seen what we are seeing there. Sir, she was weeks into this place by a team of police officers. None of the electoral officers or the local government that have come here, but when they arrive, we don't even know. Sometimes we take them to be journalists or party agents before they come forward to present their result. We want to ask her. From our field officers, we got information that since yesterday, she had not been found in her duty place. What transpired? We get to know, so that we can also report to our superiors who have sent us to this place. Thank you so much.
But the question I will rule it out of order because it is really not important. What she has come to present to us are results and what she has presented. And if parties have issues about results she has presented, make it in writing, and I'm sure the commission will be able to look at it. So thank you for your submission. Thank you. You need to present this paper to me now. No, you shared it. Thank you. Professor, thank you for your service to this nation. Thank you. We just have you need to sign off. Okay, she has signed off. Thank you. You can take a bow. You. No clapping here. No clapping here. No clapping here. Yeah. Clapping. President of any party.
We have another party that is. Which one is that? I would add.
Those are live pictures coming from the Collation Center from Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State. There's been some contention over the results as being released and announced at the Collation Center. APC agent rejecting the results from the Port Harcourt City local government area as was earlier announced. And similar to what we saw at the National Collation Center, party agents will have one or two things to always to pick in the process, having to voice out and speaking on behalf of their parties in what they found out as holes in the process or in the result or in the collation in the earlier stages, either from the ward or the local government areas.
Certainly one of the states to look out for, Sheung. We know how many votes are at stake in Rivers. We're looking at over 2 million registered voters in Rivers State. So certainly this sort of contention will be expected in the state, especially with regards to the collation. It's always been quite contentious. The tension is always quite high. But looking at where the discrepancy, or will I say the disagreement is coming from now, the agents of the PDP and that of the YPP not agreeing on the figures that have been reeled out so far for Port Harcourt City.
You look at that figure now, where APC with 5,562 votes, the Labour Party with the votes 62,451, and the PDP 7,203 votes, and the NNPP 301 votes. Incredible results coming out of Port Harcourt City local government area of Rivers State. You mentioned how interesting the contest will be in Rivers State, looking at the political maneuvers and some of the intrigues that have come into the Rivers politics, not only in the PDP, in the APC also. There's a huge political intrigue that has gone weeks before the election. There are a lot of dynamics that have come into that race, and also uncertainties. Some supporters, to the very last minute, were not aware or not clear on how they were going to vote. And so perhaps some of these intrigues also is playing out right now in the collation of the results.
I'm just wondering, do you think, because, you know, we were talking earlier about Oyo State, and with the results that we've seen so far emanate from there, the governor of Oyo State being one of the G5 governors, we also know that they, I don't want to say the ringleader, but the leader of the group, the leader of the G5, the governor of Rivers State, you know, certainly not supporting his party at the national level. How do you expect the results to play out here in Rivers at the Collation Center?
Well, it's interesting already, and every eye is on Rivers for the reason that out of the 6 states in the South, Rivers, I think, has the highest number of registered voters. And the Rivers is one state where when you win, it's like the Kano of the South. You win Rivers with a good margin. It can neutralize about 5 states for you. So the votes are there, and if APC could do well in Rivers, or if Labour Party does well in Rivers, it will hurt the chances of PDP most, given the fact that that is one foothold they intend to have in the South, together with Akwa Ibom, because Akwa Ibom has about 32 local governments, and they are doing well in Akwa Ibom anyway. So they want to do very well. PDP wants to do well. But you also need to understand that PDP could not campaign. Presidential campaign could not take place in Rivers because of bloodshed, the fear of bloodletting. So, and there seems to be a trade-off between Governor Wike and Peter Obi at some point.
I mean, interesting scenario playing out. We've been told that the collation officer for Port Harcourt City local government area, Professor Omiye Briggs, has been asked to stay back at the collation center for security reasons. Information coming from the collation center there in Port Harcourt is that the collation officer for Port Harcourt City LGA, Professor Omiye Briggs, has been asked to stay back at the collation center for security reasons. We have some good sound there for you to be able to follow the proceeding from the collation center in Port Harcourt. We'll get back to it.
I'm also sure that we have enough evidence to convince the world that we are very firm and fair here. Indeed, the votes are counting, and it is in our honor that what is right is done at all times. We have seen how parties celebrate when they win. We have also seen how parties grumble when they lose. We have seen a lot sitting down here. As we live here, let's pass this gospel round that we have a commission. As ad hoc staff for the election, our responsibilities are very, very limited. And the liability lies within the levels of operation from the polling units that build the first foundations for credible election. The first foundation is laid by the completion of Form EC8A. And once Form EC8A is concluded, agents of parties are required to have their copies. That is the vehicle that can deliver you to contest any results. I want to emphasize again that on issues of the reliability of election, it is in our task as voters, as parties and agents, it is on our task to defend our votes and see that our vote counts. When it comes to the level of final collation as we are seated here, there is nothing whatsoever we can do to add or subtract from one vote. And I feel that we should pass this information again for the purpose of educating the society of rules and levels of responsibility. Again, we are still waiting for collations from Ahoda East. And Degema, and I'm sure we'll give them additional 10 minutes to take over the podium and we'll start the process of collation. I want to thank you for your patience and thanking you for the trust you have in our conduct.
Out there, cross their eyes and their T's and dot their I's.
That, one day is a long time in politics. 10 minutes might be a long time in this collation for the people of River State, but look, as we're keeping vigil across the nation, so at some states also keeping their eyes closed and keeping vigil, the race is not over until it's finally over.
Yeah, interestingly, the comments from River State Governor, I think it was earlier today, where he did say he did not disrupt the proceedings or something like that, because there's been several comments making the rounds in Rivers concerning how the elections turned out, how things went. So it'll be interesting to see who gets what and by what margin, because, I mean, Mr. Joe also alluded to the fact that depending on how the margin is for each of those political parties, it could have implications. But wait a minute. Is it likely going to affect how the next elections in less than 12 days go?
Not necessarily. You see 2 weeks. That's one thing people need to know. What happened on Saturday was national elections. And national elections comes with their own peculiarities and idiosyncrasies. So people are electing those who are going to Abuja. So it's for Abuja politicians. The real election comes...
Are they sending them off?
That's the same fault. It's Abuja politicians, isn't it? They are sending them off to Abuja. You can see now, Comrade Adam Oshiomole is returning to Abuja to come and do some work in the Senate, and that's heartwarming. Godswill Akpabio, after the cool-off at the ministerial level, is returning to Senate. But you see, when it comes to governorship and state house of assembly, That's when you know all politics are local. Because you now will see a different dynamics playing out. For instance, in states where Labour Party doesn't have candidates, they are going to definitely vote for other party.
What about Lagos?
Lagos, Sanwo-Olu will still be the person to beat. Because what I see, okay, they are projecting Rose Favour, who is the governorship candidate of Labour Party, because of what has happened this morning. But I don't see him doing very well in 2 weeks' time. Because don't forget, unless you are talking of a non-performer, if Sanwo-Olu hasn't performed, there may be, I'm not saying that the person I see that would likely profit majorly in Lagos is not Labour in 2 weeks' time, but PDP. Because if you look at the way campaigns have panned out, Jandor is making is getting more vibes, getting more traction in the media with Funke Akindele than the Rose Favour guy, who is the Labour Party candidate. So the trade-off is P2B needs to win Lagos to make a statement. And you could see the intrigues that played out. When he wanted to do the grand finale of his campaign, he didn't go to Oka. He has that in his pocket. So he went to Lagos, went to Alaba, went to the markets to do the drive.
Does it not make sense to you? I mean, for those who criticize him that he paid too much attention to Lagos. Peter Obi visited almost all the major markets in Lagos. He went to Ladipo, Alaba, Ikeja. I didn't think that he went to Oshodi. I thought he went to Ladipo, Alaba. He went to Ikeja. Those are major places that he thought their catchment for him. And for those who criticized him, perhaps have seen the light that when he was looking at getting this number of votes, he had his eyes on a certain mark. Yeah. And perhaps, it's making sense. But I guess it's a good time for us to get some reactions, Chamberlain and Mark. There are a lot of people who have said, who have spoken out about this process. There are a lot of reactions that we're getting as to how this conduct and this exercise have spanned out. And it's getting intense. Let's listen to a former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, who addressed the press earlier today. And these in his own words in the press conference he addressed.
I am constrained to speak at this point. And I crave the indulgence of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency General Muhammadu Buhari, to make this statement because I've had opportunity to keep him aware of what I know is happening and the danger looming ahead. On many occasions in the past, I have not hesitated to point out lacuna in the action of the President and his government. But as far as the election issues that we are now facing are concerned, the President has proved beyond reasonable doubt that he will want to leave a legacy of free, fair, transparent, and credible elections. Until last Saturday night, February 25th, 2023, the good and noble plan and preparation for the elections seem to be going well. For the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, a lot of money was spent to introduce bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, and the server for immediate transmission of results from polling units. It is no secret that INEC officials at operational level have been allegedly compromised.
Saying. Do you think that from a legal point of view, that is something that is feasible and perhaps the best way forward? Or would you align with President Obasanjo, who's suggesting that there should be some selection in the cancellation of elections?
Well, where there were... Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. Where there were technological hitches, the polling units, where there were technological hitches, I would suggest that those polling units be reconsidered for a new election on the 4th of March, as the former president suggested. To cancel the entire election would be highly expensive. And Nigeria is still going through a lot of economic hardship. It would not be in the interest of our economy to invest yet again billions of naira to start polling and start elections all over again. Having said that, Charles and Adesua, Section 47, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act actually empowers the INEC chairman to cancel.
He can do everything to rectify the errors of the last 2 days. No beavers, no result to be acceptable. And no uploading through server, no result to be acceptable. Where beavers and servers have been manipulated or rendered inactive, such results must be declared void and inadmissible for election declaration. Chairman INEC, I have thought that you will use this wonderful opportunity to mend your reputation and character for posterity. Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, tension is building up, and please let all elections that do not pass the credibility and transparency test be cancelled and be brought back with areas where elections were disrupted for next Saturday, March 4, 2023. And beavers and saver officials be changed. To know which stations or polling units were manipulated, let a committee of INEC staff and representatives of the 4 major political parties with the chairman of Nigeria Bar Association look into what must be done to have hitch-free elections next Saturday. Mr. President, may your plan and hope for leaving a legacy of free, fair, transparent, and credible election be realized. Mr. President, please don't let anybody say to you that it does not matter or it is the problem of INEC. On no account should you be seen as part of the collusion or compromise. When the die is cast, it will be your problem as the chief executive of this country and that of the nation.
All right, then, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was addressing the press conference there earlier today in Abeokuta, will now then go straight to the International Conference Center, the venue of the National Collation Center, to continue with the proceeding.
483, 483, ADC 1,139, 1139, ADP 1,567, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 1,040, 1040, APM 814, 814, APP 288, 288, BP 217, 217, LP 1,889, sorry, 1,889, 1889, NNPP 98,234, 98,234, NRM 1,200, 1200, PDP 386,587, 386,587, PRP 468, 468, SDP 532, 532, YPP 2,773, 2773, ZLP 1,211, 1211, total valid votes 920,531, 920,531, total rejected votes 34,274, 34,274, total vote cast 954,805 votes, 954,805. So the result as presented.
Okay, thank you very much, Scope. Any reports of cancellations or places where elections were not held?
Yes,
the
sir.
Numbers and the reasons?
There was some cancellation in 20 local government areas, 41 RA, 50 PUs, and it is as a total number of council board 52,846, 52,846, and it is as a result of overvoting and malfunctioning of BMAS.
Okay. Any comments? Any suggestions? Yes, there's a hand there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When some party officials walked out, I stayed back not because I want to endorse the process that's ongoing. I stand back in protest with the continuous process. I will explain. During the last session, I pointed you, sir, to section 64, and I'd like us to treat that. 64 subsection 4A and B. You said you were going to address it. You didn't say a word about it. We can't continue like this. If the process says the results must have been uploaded before they are presented here, why aren't we following that? Recall, when it was time for us to upload agent on the portal, you followed the law strictly. When it was time for us to do all the process as stipulated in the Electoral Act, you followed this strictly. Now, my question is, because I speak for my party, the African Action Congress, I can't understand why we're not addressing something as serious as that. People are completely upset. My party members cannot understand why this has continued. Please, Mr. Chairman, why is the Electoral Act not being followed during this process? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any further comments? Remember what I said at that time, and recall what some other party leaders also said, or party agents said. They referred to that section of the law and also referred to the section of law that empowers the commission to review. And we are going to review on the basis of the complaints that we received from you, which at present we have not received, of discrepancy between what is here and what your agents brought from the field. This will be done. So please, if you have any observations, any comments, or any discrepancies, please point this out. Tomorrow, I will speak on the issue of the IREV. Right now, our engineers are working on that to upload what remains to be uploaded on the portal. I will speak to it. Any other comment? Any other comment? Okay. So thank you very much. Scope, can you please bring the results so that... Thank you. Did he use the continuation in addition to? Okay. Can you sign in the stamp? Okay. What about EC40G? Hmm? Oh, here. Oh, okay. Same thing. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Next is Adamawa. Is Adamawa ready? Adamawa. Okay, Rek, please introduce yourself and let the scope introduce himself and present the results.
I am Barrister Hudi Yunus Ari, MNI, the resident electoral commissioner for Adamawa State.
My name is Professor Mohamed Laminu Mele, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, University of Maiduguri. I am the collation officer for the presidential election of 25th February for Adamawa State. So I hereby present the results. Adamawa State has 21 local government areas with a total number of registered voters of 2,196,566. 2,196,566. Total number of accredited voters 764,834. 764,834. The total number of votes received by the presidential candidate of each of the political parties are as follows. A, 654. 654. AA, 536. 536. AAC, 646. 646. ADC, 3,398. 3,398. ADP, 1,906. 1906. APC, 182,881. 182,881. ABGA, 887. 887. APM, 650. 650. APP, 372. 372. BP, 522. 522. LP, 105,648. 105,648. NNPP, 8,006. 8006. NRM, 1,563. 1563. PDP, 417,611. 417,611. PRP, 701. 701. SDP, 1,944. 1944. YPP 958, 958. ZLP 2,257, 2257. Total number of valid votes 731, 140, 731, 140. Total number of rejected votes 30,481, 30481. Total votes cast 761,621, 761,621. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any polling units where elections did not hold or the result cancelled?
Yes. Total number of cancelled votes 23,097. They were cancelled in about 33 polling units across 13 local government areas. And most of the reasons are overvoting. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments, any question? Any observation? Okay, thank you very much. Please submit your results. Thank you, Adamawa. Right. Just pass it over. Okay, can you sign and stand? Stand. Just as we did for this one. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Okay, the next state is Katsina. Katsina state. So Rek, introduce yourself, let the scope introduce himself, and he presents the result.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Yahya Makarfi Ibrahim, and I'm the Resident Electoral Commissioner, Katsina State.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maazu Abakar Gusau, Vice Chancellor, Federal University Gusau, and I'm at the State Collation Officer as scope for Katsina State. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, the result for the presidential election held on 25th February 2023 in Katsina State are as follows. Total number of registered voters 3516719. 3516719. Total number of accredited voters 1097663. 1097663. Total number of votes received by the presidential candidate of each of the political parties are as follows. Party A 255 255. AA 523 523. AAC 234 234. ADC 1405 1405. ADP 1798 1798. APC 482 283 482 283. AFGA 1391 1391. APM 603 603. APP 269 269. BP 327 327. LP 6376 6376. NNPP 69 029
ZLP 371. 371. Total valid vote 1187 1091187. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Scope. Are there polling units? Where elections did not hold or cancelled?
Yes, sir. There are 18 local governments where were affected, and REs affected, 95 PUs, and 51421 registered voters in total.
Do you have the breakdown by PBCs collected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many?
44944.
44944. Okay, thank you very much. Party agents, any comments? Okay, please come forward to submit your report. Okay, let me. Okay, can you sign in the stamp? Inside the stamp, sign. The Nasarawa state is around, but will require a few minutes with the Collation Secretariat. So we take Nasarawa, and then see if there are other states. We either take a break and come back, or if there are no other states, then we may reschedule for tomorrow and continue. So Nasarawa, please, Collation Secretariat, be fast so that we can take Nasarawa and any other state that comes. Thank you.
Painting the political map differently. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, winning in Katsina, like we were analyzing earlier. That's a home state of President Muhammadu Buhari of the APC, and the APC winning in Jigawa State. And so that's another very interesting and a close race, a tight race between the PDP and the APC. And I was asking earlier, before we went back into that session, how this comes to you. They shared borders, but then they didn't share ideology in terms of how the pattern and manner of their voting.
Yeah, it's not surprising. People, like I said, all politics is local. I think the problem of APC in Katsina was about the party primaries. It didn't go quite well. There were a lot of disaffections, a lot of defections within the state ahead of the election. So I saw what eventually played. I think, was it on your program? You were asking Hanatu whether she's afraid of APC losing Katsina, and she denied. But I knew that all is not well within the APC family in Katsina State. And you have a governor, outgoing governor, Aminu Bello Masari, who has to cope with intractable insecurity in the state, which has made him very unpopular. And of course, the people seems helpless that even though they are the president, they are not feeling the impact of the presidency in their state.
Oluwale, look at the figure, the outcome of this election in Katsina State. Katsina is one of the KKK. You have the tendency of coasting home in a good election if you are able to garner good numbers from Katsina, Kebbi, from Kaduna, from Kano. Katsina, for example, look at the margin between Tinubu and Atiku in Katsina. It's just about, it's less than 11,000 votes, if I'm right. 482,283. That is the votes that Tinubu garnered in Katsina, compared to Atiku, who won in Katsina State with 489,045 votes. Did you see that coming, Oluwale?
To be quite honest, we expected this election to be a lot more competitive than previous elections. And regardless of the battering it has received, I think the BVAS has a lot to do with it, in my own estimation. First of all, the chances of your tampering with the results are much less. Because when you see a state like Katsina before, you say, well, this is the president's state, this is this, and you expect that everything usually will go one way, and margins will be much, much wider. But looking at things now, you are seeing elections with much, much tighter results. I personally think that the BVAS has a lot to do with that. It gives a fairer reflection of the wishes of the people. Absolutely. By the time we see Rivers State, I'm sure it will be an interesting Rivers State, another place where margins are usually very, very wide. Apart from the first election that brought in ODD against Awushe in 1999, 1999, the margins in most of these states are much wider.
You don't think Rivers' margin will be that wide?
I will be surprised if it's very wide, although there are other factors and dynamisms at play, but I will be quite surprised. I think our elections have become a lot more competitive. 8 years ago, you probably would not have seen these razor-sharp margins that you are seeing in some of the states.
I don't know who should take the credit, Chamberlain and folks. In the election of Rivers State, for example, if APC wins in Rivers State, who will be taking the credit? If PDP wins in Rivers State, who will take the credit? I mean, I'm looking at the political intrigues that have played out before that election. I mean, consider the fact that the PDP presidential campaign, they couldn't find a way to do their campaign there, and you saw what really happened. There's the Rotimi Amechi factor, Tonya Cole factor, but the alliance and the seeming alignment between Wike and the Tinubu camp. You saw how much of the APC folks went to visit Wike in his home. So that's what I'm asking, Bosede.
Yeah.
Who do you think would have taken the credit, whichever way it goes?
Sheon, I think this raises that point around what do people vote for? Do they vote for the party? Do they vote for the candidates? Or do they vote, ideology?
Different sentiments.
What is the sentiment that is driving the votes? And I think that is something that, a state like Rivers will help us to unfold. Because if you think about what people expect, which is that, people vote for the governor, then you expect that it will go a certain direction. If you think people vote the party, and Rivers has been a predominantly PDP state, then you expect it to go a different direction. Again, I don't know if you know the composition of Rivers, but there's an Igbo sort of speaking part of Rivers, right? Are they going to go with ethnic sentiment? So you see, there are different dimensions that I think a state like Rivers will help us to really unravel. What are people voting
If
for?
I could just jump in and ask, how much influence do you think the leaders have on how the votes turn out?
I mean, if you take what Mr. Uzi said around, how fair our process, our electoral process is getting, I definitely think that the leaders are going to have less and less influence. And I think we're seeing it play out, isn't it? Right? So the leaders are going to have less influence. Now, there's more awareness about the cost of who you vote. Yeah. Remember that elections is a pathway to good governance. I say that in the last 8 years, it pinched all of us. It was collective. Nobody was exempted, right? So my point is that, people understand the difference, right, between, your representative representing you or not. I think that there's an increased
Let me take us to yet another very interesting conversation which got us talking off the cameras and when we were off the air. And this is the National Assembly election. We're still keeping our eyes on the National Collation Center. But there are a lot of things that have happened. In the Senate, for example, the Senate spokesperson, Ajibola Basiru, has lost his re-election bid into the Senate to represent the good people, as he always says, of Osun Central on the platform of the APC. He lost to Mr. Fadeyi Olubiyi of the PDP. Now, Governor Ben Ayade, the incumbent governor of Cross River State, has lost the bid to return to the Senate. He's been defeated by the incumbent senator who went from the House of Representatives to the Senate, Senator Jaribe Agam Jaribe of the PDP in the Cross River North senatorial election. Mr. Ayade, he was in the Senate in 2011, 2015 before he succeeded the former governor of the state, who is the vice or the deputy the Director General of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Leah Lemoke. And if you look at the screen right here, from Edo State, the former national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, he got his election, defeating Senator Ali McKenna in that senatorial district. Godswill Akpabio is returning to the Senate. He's won his own election. Governor Ben Ayade lost to Senator Jaribe, and the former governor of Nasarawa State. Interesting dimension in Nasarawa State. SDP reared his head. He roared like a lion, like a crocodile. He sneaked into the domain of the APC and consumed what they would have called their domain. And here we have it.
You know, it is interesting you said roared like a lion. The animal on the logo of the SDP is a horse, a white horse. So maybe you can say they rode gallantly.
We've seen the place of animals in our politics recently. So in Nasarawa State, SDP, you know, I mean, I'm not sure anybody was.
The senator and the former governor.
Absolutely, and they coasted home with 3 senatorial seats in that state. This is the minority leader in the House of Representatives losing his seat, and the former governor of Bayelsa State is a second time lucky to get into the Senate. So there are a lot of dynamics in the National Assembly. Mr. Uzi.
Yes.
Did you see? What do you think that this mix will bring into the National Assembly? New folks, old folks coming back. What do you make of it?
I think all living things to progress have to be dynamic. They have to be organic. Things must change. Some of the old must die off, and the new must come on board. So I think that is just a reflection, and I think it will be. The colors of National Assembly were as colorful as your tie. Representing different colors.
That was the idea. To tell you how the map is looking dynamic these days.
It should be quite an eclectic mix. There are those who believe that we should copy from the American system where senators and congressmen stay for 25, 30, 35 years for grooming, for mentorship, and then they qualify and maybe go on to higher positions like Joe Biden did and became president. It has its advantages and disadvantages. The dynamics and our social-cultural, our political history are slightly different. For example, a lot of zones, they have a zoning formula that one time this person from this local government or this area goes, next time somebody, so there'll be some kind of equity and fair representation. And they talk about the federal character principle that the country governance should reflect the diversity of the country. So, but the flip side to it is that, look, there's some traction you gain, there's some knowledge you gain, and there's a lot of learning to be done. And if each time you bring a new person, you're starting afresh. There's a lot of waste in that whole system. You lose out on the experience, and experience is something that is so precious to us, and we're not making maximum use of experience that we've gotten from public service. And legislature's work is there's a lot of intellectualism to it. You know, take the Electoral Act, for example. You have to have a good understanding of the Act. When you look at where we're coming from and where we're supposed to be headed for, what are the lessons learned from there? Yes, you can have experts, you can hire consultants, but the operators of the system have to have some working knowledge. And I know you know a lot of these people. The Communications Act, the Electoral Act, are actually conceived and written by the core of it is written by 2 or 3 people who do most of the work. The other things are just additions here and there. Yeah. You need some kind of dedication. So it's a lot of
former governors who are going to be going into the National Assembly. Yes. Some former governors, their bid to return is failed, but there are a few of them. The senator, the guy from Anambra State, the YPP candidate. He got a return. Ifeanyi Uba, Senator, the former Abaribe, defeated the incumbent governor, Ikpeazu. Godswill Akpabio is returning. The former governor of Abia State and the chief whip, Orji Uzor-Kalu, he got a re-election. Different, interesting story. For some, it's a sour taste. For some, it's a very sweet one. But we take a break, everyone. Mark, where you have a whole list of those who are successful in Kwara to Nasarawa. But we come back, everyone. But we need to take a short break. And when we return, more on the outcomes, what it means for our politics and the polity. Stay with us. We'll be right back, everyone.
You gonna need to light up your life, eh? Now which kind of cable you gon' need to light up your house, Coleman quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman tank. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Coleman. Now come and be the balm. Come and see. Now come and be the balm.
So if elections are flawed, even if by miracle we appoint bishops and imams to select for us the leader, and by rigged process they got angel, there will be stability. The idea of the election is simple. Fix the problem. So if Obi won, Tinubu lost, and by the way, there will be people who have been saying we want big.
By bigger margin.
So assuming
10,
they won by 60%, let's say they got close to 700 votes, and Tinubu got 200 or 300, that could determine the outcome of election. We are going to look at simple majority and two-thirds. So the question of winning, for example, when people are complaining about rivers, I guess they want rivers. They're complaining about suppression of votes in some place. The same way Atiku could complain, the same way Tinubu can even complain.
I think, Dr. Ahmad,
so the question is about
when
you won.
I think I get a sense of what you're explaining, and clearly, it makes nonsense of beavers, because if we've heard the INEC chairman not once, not twice speak of overvoting, it then means, because first you have to come before beavers to get that authentication.
Yes.
So how did we get to overvoting if beavers was actually used?
That's the point. So he has asked each person who comes, what are the problems of say overvoting? So that raises the question, investigation. And this can happen in less than 48 hours, less than 20 to 25 hours, even 6 hours. You need to shut down and sit with your team and go through this evidence. That's what people do everywhere in the world. If you watch election in Kenya when they had crisis, that's delayed. This idea that when we vote on Saturday, then we must call the election on Monday or Tuesday, and then people go to court. That's the problem. You see, we are judicializing politics, and it has its own dimension for anarchy. In Imo State, where the Supreme Court, rightly or wrongly, picked a winner. Till today, that state is ungovernable. Why? Because people feel, what the heck, who are these 5 Platonian guards sitting, great guys, sitting, or 7 of them sitting somewhere in Abuja, and 10 of us are governor. So don't say go to court. Fix the problem. And I think Obasanjo's letter provides a procedure in line with the Electoral Act and affirming the regulatory power of INEC to do this rectification.
All right, Dr. Sam, we're going to get your impressions about the whole...
I know. Sorry to cut you there, please, because Obasanjo clearly cannot be, seen as an impartial person in this case, because clearly Nigerians already know that Obasanjo is on the back of Peter Obi.
Sure, Obasanjo
and that point was made by the APC.
Good. He was at the heart of somebody who supports a candidate, and nothing wrong about anybody, including Mr. President, who voted actually
and displayed his.
So if the president is not acting to save the situation, we will say because he voted for Tinubu,
he should keep quiet.
Obasanjo is playing the role of a statesman, and by the way, if his statements were outlier, his statement is in line with EU. The European people and other observers, they are saying there are fundamental. What differs is that they don't have the right as diplomats
to
prescribe action.
Right.
They lay out for you some of the flaws and urge you to move. But Obasanjo now as a statesman, former president, who has oversized interest, stake, and sense of mission in this country. Imagine he did it under Jonathan. He wrote several letters when they thought there was crisis. Under Buhari.
So many.
So this is typical of Obasanjo. But what I support, like I don't do before, is that I see an intelligent process that can get us out of this incubus that Mahmoud gratuitously and recklessly plunged us into.
All right, let's talk about other issues. Let's look at the National Assembly results so far and some major upsets. Cross River Governor Ben Ayade lost his bid to represent the Cross River North Senatorial District on the platform of the APC to the PDP candidate Jaribe Agom. Also, Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of the PDP failed to win the contest for Enugu North senatorial seat, which Labour Party's Okeezea won. And Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong, who doubles as the Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, lost his bid to represent Plateau South Senatorial District in the Senate to the PDP candidate Napoleon Bali.
Well, in Nasarawa State, APC National Chairman Adamu Abdullah also failed to deliver his Nasarawa West Senatorial District seat to the governing party. The candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Ahmed Wadada, won the senatorial seat in Nasarawa State. In addition, Benue State Governor Dr. Samuel Otom emerged one of the biggest losers of the election as Titus Zam of APC stopped his ambition to represent Benue Northwest Senatorial District.
Okay, so let's bring you the presidential election results, starting with Lagos State. Dr. Sam, you see those figures there. APC 572,000, Labour Party 582,000. The next, of course, is the NNPP 8,442. Wow, the PDP scored 75,750. That's from Lagos State. Dr. Sam Amadi. I mean, a lot has been said about this offset, but let's continue with the numbers. We only heard not too long ago, Katsina State, APC 482,283. The Labour Party scored 6,376, while the NNPP went home with 69,386. The PDP 489. That's very thin margin.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Sola, you want to take?
Well,
okay,
there are
they're still on
and
Katsina.
that's the state of the President Buhari.
The president's home state.
I'd like to see that again. No, we have to go back to Katsina State. Let's see Katsina. That's the home state of President Buhari, and you need to see the results. There you have it on your screen, and you can see the figures from the APC, 482,000, and of course in that state the PDP won 489,000.
By a margin of about 7,000. What does that say to you, Dr. Salamadi?
I mean, this is
the president's home state.
This ties in with the story around stoning. I mean, clearly, this president is not popular, in his hometown. He might be elsewhere. And this is really surprising because Buhari came with a magical image. You know, it's like, in fact, it would have been in those days 1 million, okay? Everybody would vote for Buhari. So 8 years after, and it happens with presidents, you know, expectations are not well managed, failure here and there. PDP beating him in Katsina tells us that.
I'll come back to it so that we can talk more about that because we have pretty much more to
Yes,
take
indeed.
now.
We have Ekiti State, beginning with APC, of course, 201,494, followed by the Labour Party, 11,397, NNPP, 264, that's 264, while the PDP scored 89,554. Moving on from Ekiti State, let's take it to the next state. That's Kwara. Also, that particular state is actually in contention by the PDP. Well, the APC carried the day as far as these figures are concerned, 263,572. Labour Party, 31,166. The NNPP scored 3,141, while the PDP has 136,909. That's from Kwara State, the North Central State.
Let's see if we can get Oshun here now.
Yes.
This is Oshun State. That's a state that the APC also lost to the PDP. The PDP coming top there at 354,000. And the APC coming closely with 343,000. And we can see the Labour Party there making some kind of audition.
$369,924, followed by the PDP with 115,463, trailed by the Labour Party 47,350. And of course, the NNPP scoring the lowest there in Ondo State with 930. Let's go to Ogun State, very good neighbor of Lagos State. 341,554. That's what the APC scored there. Not too surprising. We'll find out from Dr. Sam if he is surprised by these figures. And the PDP with 123,831. The Labour Party, Sulai, just like you said, another good showing, 85,829. Lastly, 2,200. That's what the NNPP could, muster.
Well, let's get to I come back to Ngozi and I address why she started thinking about the NNPC.
It's the money. It's the money.
But anyway, going to Oyo State, you can see that the APC is top there with 449,000, closely followed by the PDP at 182,000, and on the third row is the Labour Party with just a little less than 100,000 at 99,000, and the NNPP with 4,095.
And Oyo State traditionally, well, at least right now, is actually a PDP state. PDP governor. All right, let's take you to Yobe State. APC, has 151,459. Labour Party, 2,406. That's
and the winner there,
an interesting figure from the NNPP, yes, with 190, almost 200,000, 198,567. And the PDP has, 18,270 in its kitty. Let's go to the next state. That is the southeastern state of Enugu, where the Labour Party, it's what we call in this part a landslide. You could actually call it a tsunami. Not a surprising figure to anyone. The Labour Party scores 428,640, followed by the PDP with 15,749. APC could muster 4,772 in Enugu State, while the NNPP, didn't have much showing there, 1,808.
Well, Gombe State now on your screen, and what you see there is a big win for the biggest opposition, the People's Democratic Party, at 319,123, and you can see the distant second position there is the APC at 146,977. The Labour Party didn't do badly there, 26,160, and the NNPP, surprisingly, it's 10,000. Surprisingly, because a lot of people had thought that that's another stronghold of the NNPP.
All right, let's go to Jigawa. Used to be part of the old Kano state. Jigawa State there, APC with an amazing showing of 421,390, followed by the PDP with 386,587. NNPP, 98,234, while the Labour Party, 1,889. That's the figures coming in for us. All right, let's bring it back to the studio. Dr. Sam Amadi, any surprises at all with the figures we've just reeled out? You want to begin with Lagos State? So much has been said about that already.
I think Lagos, two things really to watch out. I mean, the terrible performance of PDP in Lagos. This is in 2019. It was a little bit, the APC managed to, get over Lagos, get ahead of PDP. Some people thought, with the vote suppressions alleged in places like Kota, maybe PDP would have even won, but here, the Obi factor played big here. I mean, the obedience will argue that they did far better, but with what they have done, to push Tinubu, who is running presidential election, Tinubu has always held this place under lock.
From 1999.
Even when Jonathan tried a lot with some kind of coalition, to everybody, it couldn't work. So now it has been breached. The bridge has got a breach. Whether it will be enough to collapse it in March 11 is a big question.
That's the governorship election.
Exactly. I already said maybe PDP should now move to the Labour. Labour said PDP has no structure in Lagos. They just have to tag on because clearly the result doesn't show any structure in Lagos for PDP. So Lagos has now become an APC Labour race, no matter what happens in the rest of the election. If you look at, another place that's really surprising is the underperformance of NNPP, from Kano and Jigawa in the rest of the north. For results so far, we expected that they would do better.
Yeah.
The showing is not very encouraging.
Okay, Sam Amadi, let's put you on hold very quickly. Well, let's go to the National Collation Center of INEC, where political editor and director of news, Somna Sambo, is standing by to give us the latest. Somna, you've been doing a great job. Tell us what's the latest. We've been hearing all kinds of things coming from there. There were protests earlier, there was a walkout, and what have you. How has INEC really been responding to this situation? Okay, well, as soon as we can, we will bring Somna back so that he can tell us what's going on there.
Dr. Sam, let's quickly wrap up on latest. Quite an interesting perspective you raised there. You spoke about the March 11 election, which is a governorship election, and you're talking about structures and perhaps maybe some kind of coalition between parties on D-Day. Speak to us more on that. You're looking at the PDP and the Labour Party?
Yes, I'm looking at the PDP and Labour Party. My argument would be that the PDP should support the Labour candidate, because for 3 reasons. First, he is a young candidate that could keep this momentum that P2B generated. He's young, smart, intelligent, with good profile that fits the sense of where we're going. A great professional. Again, that does not mean that is not good, but essentially the profile is better. 2, with this result, and what happens after this, there will be a sense in which people want to take a revenge again. Those who think that maybe they were denied bigger votes, they will be more mobilized to fight. So if PDP joins with APC, Labour, and support the Labour candidate, maybe and with the Funke factor, maybe a lady, they could.
Would that be the
I understand Somna is back. Somna, if you can hear us, please let us in on happenings so far at the Collation Center.
Thank you so much, Ngozi and Sulaiman. Right now, we are waiting collation from some of the states that are left. Nasarawa is being expected at the moment. The state collation officer for the presidential election is right here within the hall, and he had earlier been given about 3 to 5 minutes, but it's actually taken more than that to be able to finalize the figures that have been brought in here. But that's the state that we are all looking at the moment. And previously, we had got figures from Katsina State, Adamawa State, Jigawa State, Gombe State, and of course Lagos State, including others which we had earlier broadcast to our viewers. And of course the nation is still watching all through, and everyone is hoping that this process will continue to be hastened up. At the moment, what we are expecting is nothing other than some of these state collation officers, improving on the process of, filing their reports, because it's been taking some time when they come around here. But the good thing is that once the process begins, it doesn't take much time, except for a little verification here and there. So basically, that's where we are right now. The INEC National Chairman, who happens to be the presidential returning officer here, said that if after Nasarawa we don't have any more states, then he may be forced to adjourn this session till tomorrow, which will be making it much more longer than other previous presidential results tally, because the previous ones that I've covered here at the ICC, including that of the 2019 general election, by Tuesday the winner had already emerged, but it looks like we may go way up until Wednesday. That's the latest from here now.
Somna, before we let you go, former Nigerian leaders have been weighing in on the issue of the conduct of this election. Are you hearing anything? Is there any plan on the part of INEC to, fix some of the lapses that have been pointed out? What's likely to happen, especially with calls that this election should be halted for now, the results?
Well, The INEC National Chairman hasn't said anything to this effect. The president's letter, as at now, does not have any effect within this precinct. The INEC National Chairman continues to take results from the states as they come on. And then, of course, the political parties had earlier raised some observations, and of course, including some of the opposition parties like the PDP and Labour Party staging a walkout here. But we're surprised when we came back from one of the breaks, some of the other political parties that were said to have gone out with the PDP said they were not part of it. Actually, they were supposed to have been 5 political parties that went out with, Labour Party and the PDP. But later on, when the process began and they came back, some of them, including SDP, AA, and all of that, started saying that they were not part of that and that they should not be, identified with that process. So yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has written his letter. He has made a broadcast and all of that, but it doesn't seem to have been affecting this process here. All is now set for the collation from Nasarawa State, and of course other states are still being awaited at the moment. We all hope that at the end of the process, INEC will speak to the nation as to some of the observations, not only by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, including the international observers who have said that INEC had some logistics challenges. Of course, there were the issues of late delivery of some of these logistics, including some of the results, not being uploaded on time. And so this continues to be a concern, not just for politicians alone, even some of the civil society organizations here, but of course the process continues and we await a final decision by the electoral body.
Yes, indeed, we are waiting.
I would like to thank you for your time, Somna Sambo. And of course, for our viewers watching across Nigeria and beyond, we'd like to thank you for being such nice company. Our broadcasts continue here as we go over to the Collation Center.
Right now. Thanks for staying with us.
To 464. The votes received by political parties are as follows. Party A, 494 votes. 494. Party AA, 554 votes. 554. Party AAC, 117 votes. 117. Party ADC, 973 votes. 973. Party ADP, 788 votes. 788. Party APC, 172,922 votes. 172,922. Party ABGA, 989. 989. Party APM, 356 votes. 356. Party APP, 187 votes. 187. Party BP, 340 votes. 340. Party LP, 191,786 715 votes. Sorry, I'm sorry. Party LP, 191,361. 191,361. Party NNPP, 05. Party PDP, 147,093 votes. 147,093. Party PRP, 317 votes. 317. Party SDP, 8,046 votes. 8046. Party YPP, 249 votes. 249. Party ZLP, 2,660 votes. 2660. Total valid votes, 540,566. 540,566. Rejected votes, 16,371. 16371. Total vote cast, 556,937. 556,937.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Any incidents of places where elections could not hold or cancelled?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman, there are incidents where elections were cancelled in 12 polling units in 9 registration areas.
Total number of registered voters?
Total number of registered voters for those is 7,692.
So do you know how many collected their PVCs?
The 6,925.
6,000?
925 cancelled.
No, I'm talking about the figure you have quoted of 7,692.
Yes.
Out of that figure, how many have collected their PVCs? Do you have the information? It's easy to check based on polling unit by polling unit distribution of collection.
Yes, it's 6,925.
Okay.
6,925.
Reasons for the cancellation?
The reasons for cancellations, basically overvoting in some polling units, and then there was violence in one of the registration area. Those are the reasons, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments? Party leaders, any observation? Okay, please submit your results. Let me look at. Thank you. That was why I delayed them. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay, Collation Secretariat, any more? Do you have any more? No more. Okay, tomorrow I'm sure many more will come. So on this note, I would like to thank the party agents, thank Jake from Tough Africa, thank the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, thank the security agencies, national commissioners of the commission, other officials of the commission, and the media. Good night. Tomorrow proceedings will begin at 11 o'clock. And hopefully, if all the states come in, we'll conclude tomorrow. Good night.
Proceedings from the 2023 General Elections Collation Center, where some presidential results from some states have been announced. And Amaka?
Absolutely. Well, Christian, it's been an interesting day, but what we have just witnessed just a few minutes ago is, of course, the ruling out of the results by the collation officer of Nasarawa State, speaking of Professor Ishaya Tanko. And from the results rolled out right now, the Labour Party, speaking of the presidential election, actually has won Nasarawa State with 191,361. That's the Labour Party winning Nasarawa State. That's the presidential polls as ruled out by the collation officer of INEC, Professor Ishaya Tanko, with 191,361.
And the All Progressives Congress polled 172,922 votes in Nasarawa there. And PDP came, well, what you may call a little distant thirds there with 147,000 votes there and 93. And of course, NMPP with just 12,716 votes. So the INEC chairman has said that the collation will resume at 11 a.m. tomorrow. You're still watching News Night on the special broadcast.
Is it News Night early?
Well, it's News Night, but it's the special broadcast of News Night with the general elections, presidential elections being announced 2023. I am Christian Nogodo.
And I am Amaka Odewalker. We do know that during the course of the day, we did see some states being rolled out. We'll be looking at those results and also the controversies trailing those results and the ones that we haven't even received just yet.
Particularly with the letter of former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, very succinct and direct. And we have an analyst here, Professor Abiodun Adeni,
well,
to
before we
dissect
come to Prof, let's actually bring you up to speed in case you don't know about the letter. Christian was speaking about the controversy over the collation and uploading of results continued today. A former Nigerian president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has recommended that all elections that do not pass the credibility and transparency test should be cancelled. Obasanjo says elections where beavers and servers have been manipulated must be declared void.
No secret that INEC officials at operational level have been allegedly compromised to make what should have worked not work and to revert to manual transmission of results, which is manipulated, that election process have been corrupted, and most of the results that are brought outside beavers and Sava are not true reflection of the will of Nigerians who have made their individual choice. At this stage, we do not need wittingly or unwittingly to set this country on fire with the greed, irresponsibility, and unpatriotic act of those who allegedly gave money to INEC officials for perversion and those who collected the blood money. Let me appeal to the chairman of INEC, if his hands are clean, to save Nigeria from the looming danger and disaster which is just waiting to happen. If the chairman can postpone elections 4 days to the election 4 years ago, he can do everything to rectify the errors of the last 2 days.
Former Nigerian president there, Olusegun Obasanjo, raising very succinct concerns about the integrity of the results being released, and speaking about money for perversion and blood money. Well, we'll come to that. And is that the Yobe result?
No.
Yes, and well, this is the correct result for Yobe State now. I think the APC polled 151,459 votes. APC 151,459 votes. And I think Labour Party there has 2,406 votes. And
the New Nigerian People's Party and its candidate, Rabi Okonkwo, 18,270. And of course, the winner of Yobe State, as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, is the People's Democratic Party and its candidates, Atiku Abubakar, polling 198,567. That's 198,567 to be declared the winner of the presidential polls, looking at the results out of Yobe State.
Yeah, that's the correct position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the results, as we get them, will bring you up to speed. But of course, let's talk about the National Peace Committee, which says it has received reports of voter suppression manifested across the country through targeted violence, disruption of process, inducement of voters, intimidation, as well as deliberate frustration of the voters. A statement signed by the national chairman of the committee, General Abdusalami Abubakar, retired, says the committee is pleased that the Independent National Electoral Commission has accepted the lapses and promised to rectify it. The statement appeals to security agencies to collaborate with INEC in their investigation on the weighty allegations. The committee wants concerns about failure of INEC result viewing portals across the country thoroughly investigated. The Peace Committee is asking candidates and their party chairman to take full responsibility for the statement made by their spokesperson and agents, while appealing to citizens to remain calm.
And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Monday declared the candidate of the Labour Party winner of the presidential election conducted in Lagos. The election's returning officer, Professor Adenike Oladiji, declared that Obi scored a total of 582,454 votes to defeat Tinubu, who is the candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress. According to INEC, Tinubu scored a total of 572,606 votes. Tokunbo Yetuji has the details.